Welcome to the Hypatia of Alexandria. In a city of numerous magnificent attractions, the Serapeum was considered to be the most beautiful temple of Alexandria. Located southwest of the city on a small hill known as the Acropolis, the sanctuary was constructed during the reign of Ptolemy III, upon foundations which had existed since the reign of Ptolemy I Soter. Visitors of the Serapeum climbed 100 steps to reach the courtyard. Libraries were installed in the porticos surrounding the square building, with its roof and columns adorned with gold and gilded bronze. Pharaohs were generous to the temple, as were several Roman emperors after Egypt's conquest. An inner temple housed the statue of Serapis, dedicated to healing the sick.
Αδίκημα δεγάρι μέγιστον έπαξε, τι ούτιον γίνες θάνει, δυναμίνη του πατάξα.
Since the 26th dynasty, Greeks in Egypt had gradually integrated the Egyptian cult of the Apis bull to their own rituals. With the establishment of the Ptolemaic dynasty, the cult of Apis was further integrated into Greek religion. During his rule, Ptolemy I chose to merge Egyptian and Hellenic gods into a syncretic divinity named Serapis. This name was the result of the amalgamation of Osiris and Apis. With this new deity, the Ptolemaic dynasty managed to accommodate similar belief sets for two different cultures, bringing about a new dynastic cult. Serapis was also associated to other deities, including Asclepius, a Greek god of healing. It is possible that, as with the Serapis Temple of Canopus, the sick would visit this sanctuary, sleeping there overnight in the hopes of being healed within its hallowed halls. Whoa.
Αμάξα ελάβνης κακίστεως, αμέλισσον. Ελάβνη ούκεστη, φαύλον ονγάρ.
Whoa.
Nuts! See a lovely view.
You can use a mount to cover long distances quickly. Whoa. Whoa.
Πού καλάβνεις οι γνώσκεις, φαύλε.
Whoa. Whoa. Welcome to the Great Library of Alexandria.
Ευλεμπείς, όταν. Πού πες την ορφανμή σου έρθεις, ο της αμελίας.
Near the district of royal palaces and within the Moseon was the most famous library of all antiquity. The Library of Alexandria was built to house all of human knowledge. At its pinnacle, the library was believed to contain over 700,000 parchments.
Ο διαμελίας, ούγαρ ελάβνη γνώσκης. Άξανδη, αποφέρ, ανέρεμος.
Throughout the centuries, fires and wars between Christianity and paganism destroyed the library, leaving nothing behind. The loss of the building, and more importantly, its vast collection, is immeasurable. As no descriptions are available, the team's rendition of the Library of Alexandria was inspired by the visuals of the Library of Chalcis at Ephesus.
Αμάξα ελάβνης κακίστεως, αμέλισσον.
While much of the collection was purchased at the government's expense, the library also obtained books through other means. Any books owned by travelers coming through the city were seized to be copied for the library. The copy would then be returned to the owner, and the original entered into the library's collection.
Βλακίας.
Και στες και γειτονίων ημών συμφόρευε. Θάλασσα αυτός της τύχης και γίνει αυτού. Τις κρυμάσει πάση απολέσει, έχει πεσό.
Τις πράγμαση πάση. Είδες έλαβε. Τιμωρείς χέρια τα πεπραγμένα. Πληγήν.
Alexandria offered unrivaled intellectual and cultural attractions. Eminent scholars from Athens, Rhodes, and other Greek centers traveled to the city to learn and engage with other free thinkers. Both the Mouseion and the library were at the center of groundbreaking ideas and creative expression.
Έδας δε γαρ επατάχθη δεινός. Ιου, κακής τι πράξεις. Οργήν κατάσχομαι.
Μα άτυπον πάνι έστι. Κοράσιον μόνο είναι νύχτα. Έφευγεται εδώ.
The great minds of antiquity were usually well versed in many disciplines, which were often associated to specific schools of thought. The Peripatetics, the Stoics, and the Cynics were among the most well-known schools of the time. It is clear that Alexandria lived up to its fundamental role as a city for intellectuals, nurturing many great minds whose impact reverberates through our modern world.
Άλλας αυτός της τύχης και γίνει αυτού. Της κρυμάσει πάση από...
Hypatia of Alexandria was a Greek mathematician, philosopher, astronomer, and inventor. Though born in Greece, she eventually migrated to Alexandria, like many great minds of the time. It is there that she became the head of the Neoplatonist school of Alexandria. From most accounts, she was highly respected by her fellow Alexandrians, both as a teacher and a philosopher. With her death, the age of great ancient scientific discoveries came to an end.
Χέρι. Τι τούτο θαύμα.
Callimachus was born in Cyrene and educated in Athens. After his studies, he moved to Alexandria to work in the great library. A poet and a critic, he strongly rejected the epic format of Homeric poems, and instead fervently supported a shorter, more judiciously formulated style of poetry. His epigrams and elegiac poems were emulated by later poets. His work was extremely popular, second only to Homer's own works.
Ανάθημα μου η Θείας με. Αγαπητοί Θεοί, φυλάττουσιν ημάς, επειδή θεραπεύσουν αυτής θυσίας και άλλης αναθήμασιν.
It was in Alexandria that mathematician Euclid, the father of geometry, wrote the Elements, laying out the foundational work of what would become modern algebra and number theory. Euclidean geometry would become one of the most influential systems in the evolution of mathematics.
Ο γραμματεύ, Άγιο Προσφραθείο μου. Τι φυλακίας.
How do you calculate the circumference of the Earth? With a camel, 2 sticks, and shadows cast by the sun. This is what Eratosthenes of Cyrene described in his principal work, Geography, while he was director of the Great Library of Alexandria. He is credited for the invention of the armillary spear around 250 BCE.
Μάγειρε, κάλεσε τους τύπους για να φέρουν στο μαγείρι.
Από το οίκο των κλαθμούς, δεν άκουσαν. Φεύ, τέκνον δίπλη γίνει αυτής πάλι. Ου δύναμη τούτον με εμένη.
The earliest known and most complete armillary sphere of antiquity was the Meteoroscopion of Alexandria, with an imposing 9 rings compared to the 3 or 4 of most other astrolabes. Known as the zodiac krikatoi amongst the Greeks, the Meteoroscopion was used to determine the location of celestial bodies around the Earth. Every self-respecting astronomer of antiquity would have sought to use this tool to better understand the celestial movements.
Αχ, Χριστόν εστιν ουδής, χρήσιμος.
Pythagoras of Samos was a well-known and respected philosopher and mathematician. He is best known for the Pythagorean Theorem. However, there is proof that the theorem existed in Babylonia and India long before Pythagoras was born, casting some doubts as to who exactly originated the theorem.
Μάγειρε, τα μαγειρευόμενα όσπρια σκληρά εισήν. Απορριθέτωσαν ταύτα και μαγείρευσον άρνιον κρέας κατά καστάνων. Χρυπήσει τους εργάτας δουλεύει πλέον ημερησίως. Όγαθευ, τεράψον τους λόγους που σε εκφωνήσαμε δι προς την εκκλησία του Δήμου. Αύξησε τον αριθμό των αχθοφόρων δούλων, ώστε το εμπόρευμα φτάνει ταχύτερον πελάτες.
Χαίρε. Κάρπεδατε πάνω πατάξαν. Φεύ, νίξαν αυτό χρήζιν.
Τις αχρήσεις ανθρώπους, τι είναι.
Χάρινε, χε.
Οφαλιμοτάτης πράξεως εγίνατο. Ευχιάρη.
Ω αγαθέ, ο Λίμπη.
Πού πείσεστε μου, άντρες. Όμως Θεά βοηθήσει μας, ως η πράξη.
Άγνωστευ.
Του γαρανάκατο.
Ω ανε αγαθέ, που μόνον Αθήνα θέει.
Ευχάριστος η μητά σου. Ευλογείτε σε Θεή. Θνητείες με. Πάντα.
Χαίρε, τι πράξεις.
Πολύνετε.
Σι ελάβνη χρήου γυρνέστε.
Γυρεσκόμος και την ικάφτη να αφικνέονται. Είναι θυσιέσεων πράξεσι. Αναγνωθείτε έτη χρεσβαίων παρημών. Τα λέω μου της οικιασιν εξελθύνεται και φιλοφροσένης κόμις τέουτης βεβαιώσεν. Γεροσκόπου γάρ χαριστήρια ωφελοστούν ήμων έσονται. ανέρονται και γίνον Αίγυπτου. Οι έβωνον με λιτικών σκευωμάτων ζητήσαστε ζώη συζύγου και ραμοποιού κριτικάνενε. Διαφλημένων πλην Θεού εψέλλονται και υποστερήματε εμπορεύουνε διέπη. Όνια γε άριστα ήσυν, ου μεταδοκήν πάλι.